Okay, so recording has been started. Hello everyone, welcome to the KubeVirt community meeting. It's Wednesday, May the 21st. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to share the link for the meeting docs so that you can enter your attendance at the top of the section. I'm going to do that also. I'm not sure where to put my name, but so it should be somewhere here, I think. Okay. So first of all, I would want to do the usual like roundup. If you are have recently become part of the community and are a user of the project, consider adding your organization to the adopters markdown. You can follow us on Twitter. You can find our community page. All links are inside the introduction section of the meeting notes. And if you are a regular contributor, you can join as a GitHub project member. So first of all, my question, do we have any new members this week that would like to introduce themselves?
I guess me. Hello, I'm Enrico. I was looking for the hand button, but I didn't find it. So hello everyone. I'm not a member yet. I opened my PR to become one, and hopefully for working on the Helm charts for KubeVirt.
Great, welcome to the KubeVirt community. Okay, so then let's take a quick look at the schedule. By the way, I did ask whether everyone can see my screen, right? Okay, good. So then let's take a quick look at the KubeVirt 1.6 release schedule. So we have the 21st. So we should reach already KubeVirt beta, which to my knowledge hasn't yet happened because the CI lanes for provider have not become voting yet. So I think there is like a bit of a work still remaining for the sick compute lanes for 133. But I figure that the sick compute people will sort that out soonish so that we can continue with tagging the v1.6.0 beta 0. Okay, next one would be there is some upcoming CFPs. Let me see. KubeCon has happened. StackConf has also happened. I've been there. It's a great conference. It's pretty small, but it's really interesting to see. If you're based in Germany, you could probably take a quick look and learn a bit if you have time for that. And yeah, most of the time they are pretty friendly with when it comes to accepting like proposals. So I would recommend that for the people located in Germany or around like Germany probably. So yeah. Okay, that is that. So which brings us to our agenda notes. First point, I must admit I have opened that in favor of Enrico. So, but yeah, you probably want to talk a bit about what you're planning to do, right?
Yes, that's the idea. So first of all, it's going to be my first big contribution on open source project, so I guess I would need some help figuring things out. Yeah, so we're using KubeVirt in my company. We have our own internal charts that are more or less a split of the package, of the release package. And when I saw that the proposal to have upstream charts is passed, I was like, okay, I guess I can contribute. So first of all, of course, we need a repo. The structure of the repo was I guess it was already discussed, so there isn't a lot to discuss there. And then we need to understand how do we want to integrate the charts with the actual release process. That's, I would say, the complicated part, because we have, I think we will have to keep both together. So we will need to find, I don't know actually where is the, where are the release script? I haven't dig into that yet. So if you have pointers, that will help. And I think we will need to kind of modify them to either push things to the hand charts or to have a sync process of some kind, even if it's human-based or issue-based or whatever. Because if an object is going to change radically, we will need to keep the charts updated. And then there is the CRD that I would say they should just be dumped from one repo to the other. I mean, from the release object to the charts. And yeah, I guess we can go in steps. Well, we can have a first beta version, alpha version that can be manually done, and we can have some kind of manual process. It's not super hard because if you generate a diff of 2 releases, then you can just decide what to port in the charts. But definitely, I would like to get to a place where the process is automated, and maybe in case of failure of the automation, we will need manual intervention. Yeah, and then we will need some kind of publication pipeline. That's another thing. I guess we will need to get an upstream, a repo of some kind where we can push our stuff. I don't know if there is guidance on that already in the CNCF or similar projects on how we can do that. But that's usually some CI stuff. That's not complicated. I cannot hear you.
Sorry, forgot to unmute myself. I could definitely help on the CI stuff. I think I probably know most of the things, how releases are generated, but I figure that also the Sticker people also have a couple of people who can help you out when it comes to creating releases and stuff. Yeah, but let's discuss that offline somehow. So on a different level, I think. But yeah, just bear with me, or like some other names that I could just drop right away would probably be, for example, like Lubo or Federico Fosemo, who are familiar with creating the release, just so that you have heard the names. And yeah, then on the other hand, just like try to ping us on Kubernetes, Stack or stuff, and then we will work something out. I'm pretty sure of that.
Okay, I will ask you to send me a message on Slack with the names, because of course there are 1,000 Federico in Slack.
Sure.
But yeah, the idea for me is, let's get the repo up and let's get the first PR where we can scaffold it and start a conversation, because I don't think we need a chart that won't be maintainable, and then we will get into the nuance on how do we want to do things. So the idea is to have when we have the repo, we can have conversation in the issues and whatever is necessary. I don't expect this to be a fast process. It's gonna be, yeah, it's not gonna, the first one is not gonna be a fast process for sure.
Yeah. I think whenever we have like the basic stuff set up with like all the merge automation and stuff, that should bring you as far as like being able to work on things. That should be okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's perfect. So yeah, I need another sponsor for my member PR. So hopefully somebody here can can volunteer, and yeah, and that's it.
Okay. Any volunteers who can sponsor Enrico and help him find his way through the KubeVirt org and stuff?
I don't know him personally, but if you want, you can use me. Oh, that
Okay.
sounds bad, but yeah, I mean, you can say.
So I have added the GitHub handle by Federico in the notes so that you can find it. And I'm not sure. I'll also probably I'll just also add the clear name, even though I never understand how to get this the strange mark on the last O. But yeah, bear with me on that, please. Okay, thanks for the onboarding PR. Okay, I'm going to ping you on the PR, and then we should be good.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. If there is nothing else for the agenda notes, I would probably switch to the open floor, and that is something that Cheryl wants to take over, I think. Hey.
Well, hi. It was a lot of fun doing the poster booth in London. It was actually great. But thanks so much. Yeah, but I haven't seen anything. We wouldn't know if anything was submitted, but I'm I'm not sure how we decide, who submits the proposal for the poster, but I'd be happy to do that. Um, if that's okay. If I could go from something that's been submitted before and worked. The reason I think it's important is that it since it's in November, it should be after KubeVirt has become a graduated project, right? Probably, so we probably want to have, and I don't know who else wants to go. I should have probably brought it up at SIG Storage because there were more Americans there. This I guess Ryan and Alexander Vels and Michael Hendrick and
Michael Henriksen. I think he's on PTO, but yeah, he should also
right.
be.
Yeah,
I don't know actually, but yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to demand that anybody try to travel to the US right now, given that like crazy things happen. But if one of us who are already in the country can go, then that would be good. Do they cover the registration for whoever is on the poster? And do you normally have like a number of people on the poster as the
I have no idea, to be honest. I figured that. So Andrew asked me to host a meeting for today because he is not available today. He just traveled back to where he lives. And the thing is, I think he might be able to get back to you on help for that. So because I think he does most of the creative stuff around like community engagement and things. So he might be pretty much helpful when it comes to like setting up something. So I would suggest that you ping him on Slack probably, so that he can help you. I myself have no experience with anything regarding like layout and things, so I would not be helpful, I think. So I would
Well,
probably ask Andrew.
the poster presentation is the way they organize it is that's the booth that they set up for the um in KubeCon with the um monitor and the little table.
Hmm.
That's what the
Oh.
poster. So in order to get that booth, that micro booth,
Hmm.
I think we need to submit a poster presentation. Or, Andrew might have already done that, I don't know. So, but if he's the person that normally handles that, I'll ask him. How's that? And
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, and if you know any more Americans, or people in North America, just because it's a long way to travel to be held up at the border. So, yeah.
So I know that
Ooh, Vladik will go. Yeah. Yeah, I think that anyone who's going we should probably get together and put you on the author list of the poster, even though it's a micro booth, it's not really a poster. Um, uh, yeah, because the more people that are around to answer questions, the less burden it is on a single person to be there the whole time. Or not be there and leaving the booth empty, which is a terrible look for a recently graduated program. So-
I definitely know what you're talking about, right? So we had the experience, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I just show up. Oh, I'll talk about it. It's just people walking the street.
And I was so lucky that you did that, right? So it was really great.
It was so much fun, and I met some really interesting people. And I think the most interesting person I met was someone from that Netherlands lithography company that does the AMSL, that were buying one of their big machines to do the 2 nanometer lithography in our chip foundry, and they're basing their next version of their design software on Kubernetes, and it was like really, and they're going to be using KubeVirt. So now that I've talked to him. So,
Nice.
yeah, and they're already using KubeVirt in Albany, where they at the chip design foundry there. So, and I've even been able to help them get that set up. So, yeah, so it's things are happening. Everything's happening.
so I know that Alan Caldelis and myself, we're US based. We could potentially also support in that if needed.
Okay, who's speak? I'm trying to figure out who's speaking.
You're good. It's Larry Dewey.
Aldelis?
Mhm.
Aldelis.
It's
I'll,
I don't
I'll
know.
drop us on here.
Okay.
Okay. Alan Caldelis and who was just speaking? I'm sorry.
Larry
Larry
Larry?
Dewey. Yeah.
Okay, Larry. Okay, and Alexander. And there's this other thing that I wanted to ask about is that if we want to do a panel discussion, since it is going to be like potentially our first KubeCon after graduating, except maybe Japan. I don't know. It might be good to do a panel discussion on multi-arch KubeVirt that involves people that have worked with the ARM aspect of it, the NVIDIA aspect of it, x86, and I do the S390X version. So that might actually make a really nice diverse panel with different things to talk about. So if anyone's interested in that, please send me, ping me on Slack. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we'll reach out to you. I did throw our names in the and thank you, Daniel, for adding Vladik on there as well. We put our names in the meeting notes.
Oh, great. So Vladik, Alex, Larry, Alan Caldelis, and I was thinking maybe Ryan I think is based in Connecticut, and Hendrickson is based in Boston, I believe.
Yeah, I think Michael is not here, right? So he can
Oh,
actually
so he
like tell us.
can't tell me. Yeah, so we can volunteer him in his absence. No, that's a terrible thing to do. I would
Yeah.
never do that.
I mean, if you have like a bunch of people, like nearly half a dozen, that should already work, right? So that at least some people can stay and other can walk around somehow, so that not everyone has to do the whole day of booth duty somehow. That is actually like a hard job. Staying
Yeah.
there for a couple of hours is already something that is like cumbersome a bit. So yeah, but
But
that's just my
it would
opinion.
also be good to have a panel discussion, because that's 70 minutes and it's like several people and, we could discuss multi-arch from different perspectives. That would be actually kind of cool, I think. And the only problem being is that all the proposals are due on next Tuesday, so we've got like a few days to pull together an abstract and a list
Oh.
of authors. Yeah.
Okay.
So send me notes soon. And let me put my here, I'll log in to the document, and if I could add I'm on Slack, but I also have a contact. See, like this at ibm.com. I'm more likely to see it right away. I don't I sometimes forget to check my Red Hat mail, and there's a couple different Slack is like it's like a fire hose. So yeah. So, yeah, if you send me mail on at ibm.com, I'm likely to see it right away. Because I jump when I see that email, and they filter really. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like really important. If like I was totally unaware that next Tuesday is already like the deadline of the proposal. So that's pretty urgent. Okay, understood.
Yeah, I've had it on
Um,
my calendar for a while, and I was like, oh no, that's
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Okay, so do we have anything else for the open floor?
I just had a quick question about building locally. I'm trying to use Podman to build just to test out code for my PR, and I'm running into a lot of issues with Bazel. And I was just wondering if there's any guidance or anywhere, because I was using the Getting Started README, but I wanted to see if anybody had any more information.
Hi, Alan. The secret piece that you're missing is you need to undo the PID limit inside of Podman because it eats Bazel alive in like 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll look into that then.
It's written anywhere. It's just I tripped on it too. So.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to look into that. Thank you.
That sounds worth README.
Yeah.
Now that you mentioned it, it absolutely should be mentioned somewhere.
What an
I haven't
excellent
built it,
first PR,
but
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Who volunteered to create the PR?
I'll do it. Why not?
Okay,
So
cool.
you can put me down there. I'll do that. I'll work with Alan. We'll get it finalized, and I'll get the PR in.
Okay, cool. Larry, you were talking, right?
I was, yes.
Okay. Nice. Thanks. Okay, then do we have anything else for the open floor? Okay, that sounds like a silent no. Okay, then there is pull requests that need attention. I see Orel has put something up related to Virt chroot, and Jad has already agreed to review this as a core approver. Thanks for that. Anything else for pull requests?
Thank you, Jed, by the way.
Okay, this also sounds like a no. Then let me take a quick look at the mailing list that we have here. Federica has put out the KubeVirt B 1.41 release mail, which is great. Then Then we have something around probes with a terminal state. And that looks like pretty much unanswered. Anyone that can reply here?
Well, I would say that readiness probes don't restart the VM, so maybe that's what they want to use.
I'm a bit puzzled, actually. I don't really entirely understand what they're trying to say. So if you get it, then would you be so kind and just ask more questions, probably, if there is something that is unclear?
Yeah, of course I can follow up.
Cool.
My creative interpretation of their request is that they want you to migrate the VM to somewhere safer if it's in peril, which I don't know if that's really reasonable or if that's really what they're asking. That was just my impression.
Yeah.
No, I probably can speak to it, but I think this is just about, detecting the VM is not, or the application in the VM is not really running or has some issues, and then just trigger some custom workflow. So maybe migrate, maybe shut down, maybe do some ingest changes and such.
I don't understand. They should just check the status of the VMI, no? It looks like.
I think this is more about the application inside the guest.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Lubo summed up the request accurately. So even if the VMI is in running state, it could be possible that the application inside is broken, and there is no way for external services to detect whether it's broken unless they use some kind of probe, which is readiness probe or liveliness probe. So Lubo, with the readiness probe, could it be used even after the VM has gone into running state and has been declared ready?
Yes, of course. Sorry.
My understanding was that the readiness probe is for the start of the VM until it.
No, that's a startup probe. The readiness probe, you can run it all the time, and it can go up and down, and you need to implement it according to the application, to what you want to occur in the application, and it will update the status of the VMI accordingly. So you can track the status of the VMI and do whatever you want to do in any state.
Oh, okay, perfect. I think that's what we need.
It has.
So if I understand correctly, the readiness probe, if failed, will reflect in the status and will not restart the VMI. Like it will not do.
It will reflect in the status, and it will also remove the network endpoint of that pod if the readiness probe is failing.
I see. Got it.
Okay.
I have a side question on probes because I didn't find an answer. We just have HTTP and TCP probes, right? So you cannot run the command like you can do with a pod.
No, we also have exec probes.
Oh, there is exec probes? Oh, okay.
Yes. We have guest agent ping probes.
Does that sound that like the, if I may chime in, does it sound like that the documentation is missing something? Or Enrico, because you said you didn't find it, can anyone confirm that this is actually documented?
I shared something related to the liveness and readiness probes, and they were defined in the user guide.
It was even recently revisited.
Right, there was a PR, an external PR for that section, I think.
So
I guess that the run command is not there. Unless I can treat, that's definitely possible, but I just found this HTTP, TCP, the that's it.
Yeah, and even in the case of readiness probe, the documentation doesn't reflect that we don't restart the VMI.
Because you have to go back to the Kubernetes documentation for that, and I think that was also part of the PR that we had. I think that he linked the into the Kubernetes documentation because Kubernetes says that specifically, that if a liveness probe fails, then the VM restarts, and if a readiness probe fails, then you have it reflected in the status and the network endpoint is turned off.
Got it. Yeah.
So that's basically core Kubernetes functionality. So we just support it through the VM, but it's core Kubernetes functionality.
So yeah, if we can find the PR on the changes, then definitely happy to work on the docs. Because I was actually checking this stuff, literally yesterday. And I was like, oh, I would love to have a command probe, but I can't, so I will use TCP. And
I think we have an end-to-end test that if you look at under tests, you can find an end-to-end test. We actually recently moved it from network to compute. But if you look like in version 1.4, you will find the probe tests under network, and you will see exec probes there in the test. So you can just follow that and learn the functionality from that. It's actually
that would
nice
be great
to learn.
I do have a stupid question. Where I can find the tests?
Under test. Go to KubeVirt under
there
test.
Is a okay, KubeVirt. Okay.
KubeVirt, then under test, and then for this case, it's under network.
Amazing. Okay.
Let me just add that the test folder holds all the E2E tests of the KubeVirt project. So.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Folks, I think I need to cut the meeting a bit because I think like there is a SIG compute meeting happening already, and I'm not sure. So I would just ask for a quick question around: do we have anything else very important to discuss here? Because I don't want to like leave the SIG compute people alone there. And steal the time, by the way. That's a bit bad, I think.
Yeah. Is the is that SIG meeting? Is that in the notes?
That is announced, and it should be in the calendar actually. So I please keep me honest, people. I think there should be something in the calendar. I don't know out of my head, but yeah, this should be happening like half an hour after the community meeting. And yeah, so since we are already 5 minutes over time, I'm not sure whether we stole already some time.
And what was this SIG meeting for again?
This is specifically for the compute belonging. So everything that is around SIG compute, which is quite a lot, is specifically discussed in the SIG compute meeting. KubeVirt, let me see. Community. It should be still there. Let me see. The community calendar says that the 4:30 SIG compute weekly will happen. So I'm just dropping the link to the calendar, and then you should see on the 21st at 4:30 p.m. there is a SIG compute weekly meeting. I think it's not protected as this one, but it's also like a Zoom meeting specifically.
Yeah, I went ahead and added that into the community meetings folder of the links that are for the KubeVirt dev channel on Slack. Just so that it can be found.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah. So
that
thank you.
makes sense. That makes sense. Okay then. So If there is nothing else, I would probably end the recording and wish everyone a good farewell, and see you at the latest next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye.